These are some of the bravest cops in the country. Fighting crime up close and personal. Their battleground, the City of London. The very heart of one of the most crime-ridden capitals in Europe. Gang violence, deadly weapons, and lethal drugs. This is Brit Cops Law and Disorder.
Stay there. Do not move.
Coming up, a night of violence.
Yep. Well, we was getting off the bus and it kicked off.
Car carnage.
Ruptured pipe is nearer to that side of the car.
Hidden dangers searching a suspected shoplifter. And dealing with cocky kids.
Read the fingers.
Saturday night, in the City of London. A woman has allegedly been threatened with violence and robbed of her mobile phone. Officers Chowdhury and Macmillan are scouring the streets in the hope of finding the two suspects before they can get away.
I believe that she's had a mobile Nokia N97 phone that's stolen.
The victim was so traumatized, she was unable to give the police a very detailed description. The cops don't have much to go on.
Black guy, white guy, both black tops.
Believe the suspects have gone down onto Farringdon.
Suddenly, PC Macmillan notices two men near a bus stop.
There's two of them behind that bus. Yeah, they're running.
The cops quickly turn around to take a closer look. But the two men are already on their toes.
Yeah, Mel's running now, CP.
The chase is on.
You alright? Do you want to stop, mate?
PC Macmillan is on one of the suspects in seconds.
I'm going to cuff you, mate. You're matching the description, all right? Somebody's just robbed a phone.
What phone?
All right. Where's your friend gone?
I ain't got my phone.
The second suspect seems to have legged it from the law.
Right.
And this man is denying everything, including even having a friend. But the cops know what they saw. This guy is getting nicked.
I'm going to arrest you on suspicion of robbery. Do not have to say anything to me on your defence. If you're not mentioning my question, something which will rely on a court. Anything you do, see me begin.
Now under arrest and in cuffs, the cops start to thoroughly search the suspect. They don't find any stolen property on him, but that doesn't mean they're finished with him yet. Suddenly, the officers receive a call from another unit.
891.
The second suspect has been arrested a few streets away.
Why did you run off and him run off as soon as we drove past? You did, you just walked straight off us. We went slow down, you walked off as fast as you could and he ran off.
The first suspect now admits to having a friend, but protests their innocence.
But yeah, I don't know why you ran off. I ain't got nothing on me that me and my friend did, robbery. We just coming to see our friend, yeah? I didn't even see you until I walked down there. I didn't even see the police. Get me? I was just walking there to catch another bus because 25 just went. And I live in get me, I ain't got nothing to hide. That's my bus right there.
Well, if that's your bus there, why is it going that way when you were going this way? So stop lying. Yeah, it was the same bus. It's not the bus where you were going, is it? Because you were hiding behind that bus stop when we pulled up. These two males fit the description of two males that were seen earlier committing robbery, where they've taken someone's phone. We're not sure of what else at this stage. They've been evasive to us. They've hidden behind a bus stop. When we've stopped, they've made off from us. They're the only two that fit the description in this area.
The cops are sure they have reasonable grounds to arrest these two men. But unsurprisingly, this suspect disagrees.
We've just looking for a reason to arrest me. We can't do that. I ain't got nothing on me that's worth being arrested.
Mate, you've been put in that area. We'll get a statement off you and you can give us your version.
I never took nothing, you know what I'm saying?
This suspect may have nothing on him, but his mate who was stopped around the corner has. He's already been searched and is in the back of the van. He was found to be carrying a phone that cops believe is similar to the one stolen earlier.
That's it, that's it. Yeah, I was going to say, I know what it is. Yeah.
Picture of a beach on the phone.
That's it, that is the phone.
It's found in his waistband.
Yeah, brilliant.
Both suspects are now heading back to the station, where they'll face yet more questions. And PC Chowdhury has a tip for this suspect.
So if I were you, I'd tell the truth when you get back to custody.
As many as 10,000 mobile phones are stolen in London every month, and 2/3 of the victims are teenagers. It's a crime the cops take very seriously, particularly when it's accompanied by the threat of violence.
Just by the Thames, you've got 3 or 4 bridges all in a row. I mean, they could have made their way over any bridge. We thought they'd left the area or got onto a tube and gone. Fortunately for us, they would hang about and were hiding behind a bus stop. We've got them in this time and they're left to be interviewed and see what their account is.
Not far away, there's more trouble. Cops are racing to the scene of a brutal assault at a bus station. A cab driver has been allegedly attacked with an iron bar.
An assault outside Aldgate bus station, male apparently been attacked with an iron bar.
Sergeant Harl and PC Parry know how urgent this call is. The cabbie could be seriously injured. PC Parry goes looking for the victim, while Sergeant Harl radios through for more information. But before he gets a chance, the victim pulls up beside him.
You got any other description?
He claims he's taken a beating from 4 men who refuse to pay their fare, but he's having difficulty describing them.
Bag? What's your bag?
All he can remember is that one of his suspected attackers was carrying a red bag.
He's in his cab at the bus station.
Another officer arrives and offers to search the area with the injured cabbie. And joining the search are Sergeant Harl and PC Parry. There are around 20,000 black cabs in London, and despite new security measures, violence against drivers is on the increase. And the problem is nationwide. 1,000 cab drivers a year are assaulted across Britain. With statistics like these, it's no wonder the police take these crimes very seriously.
Did let know we're doing a search in the Whitechapel area.
The alleged assault has only just happened, so there's a good chance the suspects can't have gone far. Then Sergeant Harl spots what they have been looking for.
CB7 come in.
There's no time to call for backup. The officers will have to take on these men themselves. After the break, a girl's taxi ride home could cost her more than she bargained for.
There was a £77 fare that's outstanding.
A suspicious discovery in the city puts cops on terror alert.
Could be anything. I'm going to give our special branch a call.
And there's more violence on the city streets.
I managed to get up, and I carried on running.
Back in Whitechapel, a cabbie's allegedly been viciously beaten and cops are scouring the streets for the suspected attackers. All they know is that one of the men was carrying a distinctive red bag. It's not much to go on, but tonight, it's all these cops need. Suddenly, they get a break. They've spotted 2 men. One of them has a red bag, and they don't have any idea what's going on until they're surrounded by cops. The men are Russian, so communication is difficult, but handcuffs always mean the same thing in any language. The suspects are now fully restrained, thanks to the eagle-eyed officers who spotted their distinctive red bag. Despite the language barrier, Sergeant Harl tries to explain why they've been arrested.
I've arrested you because I believe you punched somebody.
There are still 2 more suspects outstanding, but the cops are getting nothing from these 2.
You've got 2 in custody, 2 at drift. We'll need a van.
With over 80 violent assaults a month on taxi drivers across the UK, police are cracking down on these crimes. Both men are arrested and taken back to the station for questioning. The cabbie is asked to come back to the station to give a full statement. We've disguised him to protect his identity.
You're going to come back to the police station now. Officer can take a detailed statement from you. Okay, mate. See you there. Yeah, you're looking pretty bruised up, fat lip and whatnot. Get you sorted out there. All right.
I picked them up and I dropped them off, and as they got out of the cab, they decided they wanted to beat me up. My nose is really sore, my lips are all busted, and my teeth feel sore.
2 of the 4 have been apprehended and arrested on suspected actual bodily harm, ABH, and that's where we stand. 2 adrift and 2 in custody at present.
Across the city, a fight's kicked off in Fleet Street. Reports have come in that the victim is on the floor, desperately trying to protect himself from an onslaught of fists and feet. PC's Barrett and Hegarty are hoping to get there before it's too late.
Just had a report on Fleet Street. There's been a fight between 3 suspected Eastern Europeans on a bus. The bus has stopped, they've got off. There's a fight going on in the middle of the street.
More information then comes through on the radio. The victim has managed to get away from his attackers.
Yeah, we've just been told the victim is heading away from police at the moment towards on New Bridge Street. We're just going to try and locate the victim, get an update from him.
Other officers are already at the scene when PC's Barrett and Hegarty arrive.
Let's get off the bus then. It was my stop. It kicked off.
They've caught up with the victim. He's lying on the floor, gasping for breath.
No, there's no weapons or anything. No weapons. It was like just a couple of punches and we're sort of just grabbing each other. I managed to get up, and I carried on running.
Okay, we've attended the scene where the alleged incident has occurred. There's a gentleman there who's suffering minor injuries, but he's a bit worse for wear. He's apparently had a shoeing from about 4 other people once they've got off the bus in the Blackfriars area. And we do have some people detained just north of here.
We got off the bus and I was trying to run.
What they look like, mate? Can you give us a description?
It was 3 guys and a girl.
Yeah.
The officers try and get as much detail as they can from the suspected victim while checking for his injuries.
Maybe Italian, possibly, with an accent.
Officers also question the man's friend, who claims he witnessed the attack.
I think there was 1 or 2 girls and 3 guys.
But then they suddenly begin to notice some inconsistencies in this man's story.
He said 2 different things now. Okay. He said 3 guys, 2 girls, 3 guys, 1 girl so far. Yeah.
And it's not just the man's changing story that rouses the cops' suspicions. He claims he was the innocent victim, but his hands might just tell another story. They're bruised and bloody. As well as the 2 men here, other officers have stopped a group of people who they believe to be involved. But everyone's blaming each other. Because there's no evidence to prove who started the fight, cops decide to bring everyone in for questioning.
At the moment, all we know is that there has been a large fight that's gone on at Fleet Street off the N15. Because the gentleman there was part of the group that's seeming involved in that, we've had to arrest him on suspicion of affray at this time. So we're going back to Bishopsgate, where he'll be interviewed with regarding that offence.
Nighttime assaults on the streets of London are frighteningly common. In fact, 2/3 of all violent crime committed across the country occurs after dark. Across the city, someone's dialed 999. Rapid response cops are racing to a late-night supermarket. This time, it's a suspected shoplifter. A man was seen running from a store just before closing time. He's suspected of having stolen some booze, a bottle of wine. With another officer on scene, the suspect is already in cuffs.
Has he been arrested, has he?
Oh, yeah, I've arrested him for suspicion of theft.
Right.
I haven't searched him with gloves.
He nicked a bottle of wine which he's chucked when he's legged it.
It might only be a small amount of alcohol, but it's still theft.
No, not small.
Then while searching the man, the police make a shocking discovery. A needle.
Does he need a van?
Just one of the many dangers that the cops face out on the streets.
Heroin. Heroin. Have you got anything else? Any other needles anyway? Ask if you've got a needle on you and you've got one in that pocket, haven't you?
You just never know when you're searching people, you know, what they're going to have. Sometimes they'll say, oh, you know, they haven't got anything sharp, and then you search and you find needles and razor blades and stuff, so you just got to be so careful.
It's all part of a vicious cycle of crime associated with drugs. Users will do virtually anything for their next fix.
They just, you know, steal stuff to sell to feed their habit.
This suspect's night is now well and truly over.
Go on, handsome. Let's go.
Because he'll be spending the night in the cells. Midnight in the city, and there's no let-up for the police. PT's Morris and Byrne are racing to Fenchurch Street. It's another cab driver, and this time, 2 passengers allegedly fare dodging.
A female's left a taxi without paying, and she's now returned back to the taxi, so we'll just go see what's happened.
As the cops approach, control radios through with a description of the suspects.
67 up, just got an update on the description. It's an IC1 female wearing a blue jacket. She's got dark brown hair.
Yeah, it's received.
Police make contact with the driver. They regularly deal with taxi fare disputes. But this one is for a larger amount than usual.
How much money we're talking about?
£77.
All right. Wait. Those 2 women crossing the line.
The officers spot the 2 female suspects. But the girls claim they can't be the fare dodgers, because no taxi will even stop for them tonight.
They wouldn't let us in a taxi?
Well, the taxi driver over there is saying you've just got out of his taxi. What's going on, Emily?
There's something wrong here. And cops need to find out what it is.
They wouldn't take my money off of me, because look, I've got the money to pay for a taxi.
All right, we'll just find out.
But they wouldn't let us.
All right, my colleague's just speaking to the taxi driver.
The women continue to protest their innocence. But then the cops find out something important.
We tried to get a cab.
The alleged fare dodge wasn't from this evening. It actually happened a few weeks ago, and 20 miles outside London.
What you just told me.
I picked her up a few weeks ago from down the end of Gracechurch, all the way home where she got out of the cab where she said her parents lived, and then she slipped off down an alley, and I never see her since until this day. And when she was owing me a fare for the cab.
The cabbie's saying that totally by chance, he spotted her tonight as he drove down the street.
What the gentleman was talking about is not an event tonight, but in a couple weeks ago.
The other girl seems to remember the night in question, but is quick to distance herself from any blame.
No, she paid for it. I didn't pay for it. I actually didn't pay for it.
So you don't know if it was paid for?
I'm honest, I actually didn't pay for it because she's lending me money.
In a last-ditch attempt to talk herself out of trouble, the girl continues to insist she's never seen the cabbie before.
What this gentleman is saying is there was a £77 fare that's outstanding.
Yeah, but I don't know who he is. So
Well, he knows who you are.
What am I meant to do?
I don't know who you are, but I know your face.
The driver's adamant that this was the one fare he was unlikely to forget.
Oh, absolutely ridiculous.
He's just explained the circumstances.
No,
You've just confirmed that you're living
I do.
and it's coincidental.
But the majority of people that go to Fenchurch Street Station
in the
live
same
in
area that I picked her up from.
that area.
While the suspect struggles with the situation, the cabbie sheds some light on why the girls were unable to get a cab tonight.
It's just so happens that I've recognised her face from previous.
Oh, right, okay.
So what's happened is I've told the other cab drivers not to take her because she doesn't pay, she runs away.
Oh, okay.
So basically, she's trying to pull a fast one again and pretending she don't know what's going on.
Because the alleged crime took place 20 miles outside London, the officers decide to take everyone's details and pass on the information to Essex Police. It's not the way these two women thought their night would end, although it could have been a lot worse.
I mean, the course of action is that I could now arrest you. Right? But I'm not going to. Because I'm not going to achieve anything by doing that, because it's Essex Police that are dealing with it. That's your postcode.
The cabbie's still adamant that he's owed a lot of money.
It's quite a big fare. If it was only a fiver, I suppose it wouldn't have mattered so much. But when it was quite a big fare and, you know, I did the decent thing and picked her up in the middle of the night and took her home, and then she decided she won't pay and run. It's not what normal people do, really.
After the break, cops deal with a runaway car.
There's petrol leaking out of the car, and the driver's gone off into one of the buildings nearby.
1, 2, 3, up you go.
A sozzled shopper.
Come on, buddy, let's get you out.
And a terrorist alert.
It could be anything with the terrorism threat in the city.
Early morning in the city. And rapid response cops are racing to a housing estate.
Yeah, we're on Golden Lane now.
Where there's been reports of a car crash. All the police know is that a car has ploughed into a wall and the occupants were seen leaving the scene.
A resident in one of the flats has called in to say that a vehicle has driven into a wall, the wall of a building, and the driver's gone off into one of the buildings nearby.
When cops arrive, they have no trouble finding the car. But there's no sign of the driver. Leaving the scene of an accident is a serious crime in itself.
We're going to go and try and find the gentleman who was driving the vehicle and try and find out what the problem was and why he's left the scene of the crash.
But officers have a much more pressing issue to deal with. The crash has ruptured the car's fuel tank, and petrol is spewing onto the pavement.
If you do it from the other side, the actual ruptured pipe is nearer to that side of the car. You can reach it easier.
Then in all the confusion, an elderly couple suddenly turn up. The car belongs to them. But they weren't the victims of joyriders. They were the ones who crashed it.
Well, the good thing is you're all safe now.
Oh, yeah. That is...
Obviously, people around are a bit concerned about you as well, but you're all safe, you're all well. Insurance can sort that out, they can't sort you out, so it's better that you're well.
The embarrassed couple explained that the car accidentally shot through the barriers while they were trying to park it. After a lucky escape from injury, the couple claimed the only reason they left the scene of the accident was to get their insurance details from their flat. So what at first looked like a case of criminal carnage was in fact nothing more than a simple accident.
The vehicle's gone through the railing here into the wall. We've located the gentleman who owns the vehicle who was driving it. We've given him a breathalyzer, which he passed. He said basically he'd just been trying to attempt to park his vehicle, and I don't know if the accelerator's got stuck or he's hit the wrong pedal, but the car's then lurched forward and gone through the railing.
As the car isn't on a public highway or causing an obstruction, the cops are happy to leave the vehicle for the insurance company to deal with. But they're satisfied no crime's been committed here, and thankful that the only casualty in this incident was some unfortunately positioned geraniums. It's now 10 a.m. and less than a mile away, PC's Gibson and Fournays have just received a call regarding some suspicious men who've attempted to gain access to a building that's being refurbished.
Yeah, a call from control saying that there's a company removing radio equipment and have not offered any identification, so potentially could be thieves.
Thieves often use bogus IDs to try and steal equipment from office buildings, but PC Fournays is concerned this job might be something more sinister.
Because of where we are, the city full of iconic sites and the current terror threat, there's when people don't produce identification, it raises suspicions that little bit more. So we treat a lot of those calls quite importantly.
In January 2010, the terror threat in London was raised from substantial to severe, meaning the authorities believe a terrorist attack is highly likely. And it's city cops who are on the front line, ready to deal with whatever comes their way.
You call police then, yeah? Have you got security here 24/7? Right. And no one else has reported people coming in and coming out of it?
When the officers arrive, the security guard tells them the suspects have already left, but explains they wanted to get access to the roof. Because the men had no ID, security refused to let them in. They're long gone, but police decide to check out just what's so interesting up top. Once on the roof, cops find what they believe the men were interested in: pirate radio equipment. This wasn't an attempted break-in, but an attempted breakout. The equipment looks like it was set up weeks ago, while the building was still empty. The pirates were probably trying to gain access so they could recover the equipment before it was discovered.
Ain't going to own up to it in any case, are they? As a pirate thing, I wouldn't have thought, would they?
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah.
Pirate radio stations cause havoc with emergency service communications and air traffic control. In London alone, over 1,000 pirate radio stations are shut down every year. But most broadcast from the outskirts of the city. It's very rare to see one in the middle of the square mile. Cops are baffled as to how the pirates were able to set the equipment up in the first place.
I mean, what it looks like is at some point they've managed to get into the building and set up a pirate radio station.
But despite the appearance of the equipment, PC4 Nays isn't taking any chances and decides to pass on his findings.
I'm going to give our special branch a call, obviously because, I mean, it looks like a pirate radio station, but it could be anything. And like I was explaining earlier with the terrorism threat in the city, so it's best just running it by someone who knows a bit more than I do. So that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Despite his concerns, the officers are satisfied there's no immediate terror threat. And even if the equipment is being used for pirate radio purposes, the cops don't have the necessary tools to remove them right now.
Give like an intel number, so you've got something. Obviously, there's quite a few building sites around the city, but the main problem we have is people breaking in and stealing building material rather than setting up pirate radio stations. So yeah, this is a first for me.
Down at street level, rapid response cops have another emergency call. A drunk man is allegedly wreaking havoc in one of the city's shops.
There's a very drunk male in one of the shops in Middlesex Street who's refusing to leave the shop.
But as they arrive at the scene, it becomes clear that the man isn't posing a threat at all.
Ugh, sleep.
In fact, it's quite the opposite. He's fast asleep. He walked into this shoe shop, bought something, and promptly passed out.
10 minutes, is he? Fresh out, is he? Yeah, just
He's got a bottle.
The cops know he's been drinking. The evidence is in a bottle, right beside him.
No worries. How you doing? You all right, mate? You okay, mate?
The shop manager couldn't rouse him. But the cops have no problem.
Come on, mate, it's the police.
Come on.
Urge yourself up. Sit yourself up for a minute.
Can't sleep here.
You're under there? How you doing?
Oh.
Yeah, you're all right? You managed to get you out of the shop. Come on, mate.
Still quite obviously drunk, the cops now need to get him and his bottle of alcohol out of the shop.
Up you get. 1, 2, 3, up on this, somebody, yeah? 1, 2, 3, up you go. That's correct,
The man's so out of it, he can't stand up. So the cops have to offer him support outside a nearby cafe.
Take a seat there for a second, mate.
The cops now need to establish if this man is okay and who he is.
How you doing? You're all right? If you've had a few drinks, that's fine.
Is that right?
How old are you then, buddy?
Where were you born? Look at me. Hello. Where were you born?
But he's having problems answering even the most basic of questions.
Can you answer that?
Was you born in London, buddy?
Lucky they're able to work out who he is by some envelopes in his bag. PC Swanson then gets some intelligence on the man from Police HQ. It seems he's been in trouble before.
What was previous for?
How you getting home then, buddy? How you gonna get home?
As he starts to come round, he begins to make a bit more sense, although he has no idea where he is.
Right. Where am I now? You're in Middlesex Street, mate. You all right to get home then?
Ready for another drink, he even asks PC Kirby to join him.
Do you want a drink? I'm fine, mate. I'm fine.
You might want to sit down a bit longer.
Just take it easy.
You're a bit unsteady still, aren't you? That's it.
I think you can post.
But it's clear to the cops that he's still out of it.
All right. Everything's going wrong.
What's going wrong? Had a bit to drink today. Gone in the shop. Had purchased some items which he paid for, and then decided to fall asleep in the shop. And they couldn't rouse him, so they called us, and we've removed him. He's just sitting out here, sobering up.
But with the cafe now closing for the day, the cops have to find another place for this man to sit and sober up.
It's me. It's this fake smoke they want.
And they find the perfect spot, a public bench.
You right there? Right. just sit there, mate. We'll come back and check on you in 5 minutes or so, yeah?
But not before they issue him with a note recording the incident.
Little prezzy to add to your collection there.
This will serve as a reminder of what happened.
Bye-bye.
It's Friday night in the city, and rapid response cops have been called to deal with an alleged assault on a London bus.
68, this bus driver looks like he's following the suspect along Newgate Street.
The suspect has got off the bus, but the city's CCTV cameras are keeping an eye on him.
It's an IC3 male wearing a dark jacket, carrying a yellow carrier bag in one hand and a white carrier bag in the other.
Suddenly, the cops on the ground see him.
Oh, there he is. Yeah, CP from CP. I can see him now. That's about it. That's it. Yeah. Okay, sir, can you come and just stand? Come.
Officer Greenwood is straight out of the car.
I haven't done nothing. Yes.
The cops don't know what the man has done, so they have to be wary.
Stand here, sir. Don't brutalize me. I'm not brutalizing you. No. Sir, can you just hold on a minute? Can you just put your bags down?
Straight away, the man protests his innocence. But the cops need to find out what's been going on.
Yeah, can you put your hands... done nothing. Yeah, can you put your hands...
Why? There is a camera.
Yeah, sir.
Why?
We've received a report that you have assaulted someone on this
I
bus.
haven't assaulted. I haven't touched him.
Okay.
I haven't touched him.
Put your hands down.
With the suspect claiming not to have touched anyone, it's time for PC Greenwood to get the driver's story.
Yes, sir. Who's he assaulted?
Me. That's his spit all over the screen.
Right, lovely. Great, okay.
The suspect was telling the truth. He hasn't touched anyone, but he has allegedly spat at the driver.
Yeah, he's assaulted the bus driver. He spat all over. The bus driver has informed us that the male had spat at him all down on his glass door, and it had come through and hit him.
With the risk of spreading diseases like hepatitis B, when a person spits in another person's face, it's classed as an assault.
Sir, I'm arresting you on suspicion of assault. You do not have to say anything.
I didn't assault him, madam.
Well, he has said that you've spat at him.
But determined to wriggle out of it, the suspect keeps on denying he's done anything.
I need to defend myself.
Well, you'll be able to do that in an interview. Just put your arm around, sir.
But the cops aren't having any of it. This man's heading for a cell. After the break, an angry confrontation with two cyclists.
Hey, you can nod your head like an immature idiot.
And cops deal with a very unusual incident.
It is an offence to have sex in a public toilet, all right? You understand that, yeah?
It's 9 o'clock on a Monday evening, and officers are looking for a gang of bicycle thieves. PC's Brockwell and Measday Cowell have just spotted two lads matching the description. The youths are both riding two up on one bike.
They're on the left, just on
This is a common method for bike thieves out looking for easy pickings, so the cops are immediately suspicious. The officers detain them both, but another lad has already cycled off.
There is one cyclist still adrift from these pair.
No, it's my fucking hood, it's blown.
Where's your other mate?
Don't start swearing at me, you shut up and don't swear at me. 1 minute, I've got GPS on him, I'll tell you where he is, shall I? How do I know, mate? I've got eyes and ears in the sky, have I?
So what are you doing in the city?
Doing whatever we want, innit? We can ride about.
The two youths seem very cocky, but the cops don't care. They've got a job to do.
The reason you're being searched is because you matched the description of two suspects earlier that were involved in theft of bikes, I believe. Okay, you can nod your head like an immature idiot.
You ain't getting me for nothing. You ain't getting me for nothing.
My name's DC Brock, and I'm from Bishopsgate. And you can have a search record if you wish at the end, okay? So lose the attitude.
Turn around. Have I not got a rap?
Both of them are searched thoroughly, but nothing is found.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah, you're coming in, but I ain't getting put in their cell, mate.
Yeah, you will. You carry on swearing, you coming in section 5. Alright, now I've been warned, I can't swear no more.
The lad's still being cocky, so he's warned he might still end up in a cell.
Rig their fingers.
Around 52 bikes a day are stolen in London, which equates to nearly 20,000 bikes a year. And with brand new bikes starting at around £400, it can be a lucrative business to be in.
They sighted us go past, then when the other van come up, and the foot PCs they've made off, and obviously they've made off to here. They were seen by the back of the gherkin, and then they come to a little dead end like this, clearly up to no good. The suspicion is they're probably out to steal bikes. Where they were seen by the gherkin, there's a lock-up where a lot of commuters park their bikes, and we get a number of them being stolen.
The pair have no equipment on them used to steal bikes, so the cops turn their attention to the bike they were riding.
Where? Which market? When was that? Last Sunday. How much pay? £70. Worth a lot more than £7.
If the suspect's claims are correct, then he got a very good deal. However, the cops are not convinced.
That's a 7.2 trek, so they will tell quite a bit more than that, so we're just going to do a check on the NMPR system and see if it's registered as being lost or stolen.
Chassis numbers can help police identify if a bike is lost or stolen. A quick check on a national database should instantly reveal whether this one's been nicked.
Yeah, you just stand up with this, mate. You don't need to see what's going on there.
Alright then, I'm not your fella.
Why so much attitude?
Because I don't like you, innit?
You don't like police?
No.
Why is that?
Not at all.
You had a bad...
Never rung him for nothing. Nothing at all.
Finally, the result comes back. The bike is completely clean.
We've done checks as far as we can on the bike and the mobile phone. Neither of them show up as lost or stolen at the moment, so we'll see how we're going to take this. The minimum the guy's going to get is a fine for travelling two up on a bike. So.
These two are completely innocent of bike theft, but they're not completely out of trouble with the cops.
This fine is £30 for contravening a traffic sign, going the wrong way down
We'll pay that with a change.
That'll be 28 days. Okay. This one's a £30 fine for cycling on a footpath. That's at the Gherkin building.
I'll pay off of you,
That's £30. That'll be 28 days. If you wish to contest it, you can request a call here, which is on the back.
Nothing.
If you ignore the tickets I've just issued you, they'll go up by 50%, and eventually a fines warrant can be issued against you.
I'll go to jail for 28 days.
Now I'll complete your tickets as well.
Yeah, go on.
The pair ride off on their bike with their various fines. If they don't pay them, they'll go up.
18-year-old boy.
And if they still don't pay, both of them could end up in real trouble. It's a new day in the city, and the sun is hotting up. While the commuters and tourists enjoy the rising temperature, the police have to deal with some unusual call-outs.
I reckon those two there, beige top, stripy top.
A security guard at the Barbican has alerted police after he believed he heard an amorous couple in one of the public toilets. Believe it or not, being unable to control your passion in public is a criminal offence.
It is an offence to have sex in a public toilet, all right? You understand that, yeah?
Police decide to adopt a sensitive but firm approach.
People around you, I know it might be a bit of fun for yourselves, but people around you might get disturbed by that sort of action, okay?
The couple are understandably embarrassed their alleged afternoon liaison has become such public knowledge. But the police have to follow up complaints like this.
Right, we're going to check them, and then hopefully from there it won't go any further.
Police check the couple's details just to make sure they're not wanted. The cops don't really know what's happened, and the couple say it's all been a misunderstanding.
Date of birth, wanted, last name back in 2008.
Yeah, that's received. Ready to go with the next one.
The officers decide they're happy no crime's been committed here.
69. In that case, these are no trace.
I receive many thanks for your help. And what do you guys do? Are you students or...?
PC Lucas does give the couple some words of wisdom before they go on their way.
All right, well, you don't want to be getting criminal records, do you? Exactly, right? You don't want to start off on the wrong foot in life. I know this behaviour, yeah, it's a bit of fun and whatnots, but just remember, it is a criminal offence, OK? And people get disturbed by it, therefore we get called to it, all right? So this time we're giving you words of advice with regards to your conduct, not to do it again. All right, but next time you might be arrested and you don't want that, do you? Don't go ruining your futures with something silly, all right? All right, guys. Goodbye. Take care.
So after their lecture on self-control, the couple are allowed to go. Brit Cops, Law and Disorder, taking you to the front line in the battle against crime. Hunting fugitives.
Get him now.
Catching shoplifters.
Don't act like you're a victim here. You shouldn't go stealing stuff, should you?
Cracking down on drugs.
Do you take any drugs at all?
Smoke a bit of cannabis, yeah.
Our cameras capture all the action as these cops capture the criminals.
Stop pushing me! Yeah, 620, active message, Miles running away.